Yeah.
And for everyone out there that love, to watch games, to watch sports, put yourself on the player's role. You admiring someone that is there, is giving everything they have. Do you think any of these players spend their free time or most of their time sitting on a couch watching other people play? And when they do, they're just looking how they can beat the competition. It's completely different. So, uh, and I'm telling you, life goes by so freaking fast. I was telling Dan about this yesterday. He's, he's still young, and lots of you are very young, but and you hear all the time, oh, time flies fast. Oh, I hear that all the time. You don't realize how fast it goes until it's over. So get your butt busy now, because it doesn't wait for you. When you realize you're freaking old, you should have worked like a horse when you're younger. Now you have to work like a donkey when you're older. You can't perform as much. You're very, very easy to, to get fired. Then you're going to be on your own. Do something for your life now, and do it in a way that you're never going to depend on anybody else. I mean, I don't know if I'm like this because, I didn't have any money growing up, and I had a lot of money. Then I lost a lot of money. Then I made a lot of money. Then I lost, being young and stupid and trying things out and over again. But now it's just like I have this thirst just to create things and do it. And now it's just like last night, I never even knew that Google can block you after you have so many emails. It was 12:30, and I go and I get my wife's cell phone, and she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I can't open any more emails now. I need to start to use your cell phone for the when Google sends you a text to confirm, and the OTP, right, one time password, whatever, to confirm that."
You open too many Gmail accounts?
Yeah, because all businesses I open the first Gmail account to get the Secretary of State license, right? Then I get the domain.
Funny.
And Google, it just say, oh, you limit your max. I was like, oh crap. So I said, okay. So I start doing it with her phone now, because associated with my phone number, right? And apparently I have 75 business that I opened in the past. That didn't open, but I created the email to open a business. And just Secretary of State, I have like 30 corporations LLC opens. And I probably, I use 20% of those. But when I think of a name and I like or something, I go and I get the domain. GoDaddy loves me, because I'm always buying domains. I have the idea. Just last night, I had an idea for a domain. I was like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and going to hold it. So I got it. And 10 minutes later, I was like, I'm going to get another one. So I got another one. Then I tell my wife, what do you think about this name? And she was like, I used the word optimal. And she was like, I think optimum is friendlier. I was like, oh crap. Okay, let me get the other domain too. And the emails. So, but it's all, and she just looked at me. She was like, you never stop. I was like, do you want me to stop? And she was like, no. So and that's one thing, you start slow, and then you realize you like this. It's so natural. You're like a machine. And let me tell you, it's you become one of the most interesting people that everyone around you, because the majority of people there, they're freaking boring. They just do their thing. They wake up, they do their job, they go to bed and go to sleep, and their wives and their husbands probably looking at them and think, oh my God, I married a tree, or I married a door. Don't be like that. I mean, do something like, when you get old, you can look back and it's like, man, I was a firecracker. Doesn't matter if you fail sometimes. I hit my face in the asphalt so many times with so many things. But you know what? Every time you learn something, and then you're better next time, better next time. Don't go on something, think, oh, this is how my life is going to be. More than likely, it's not. You're going to start a business, you're going to fail, then you're going to learn something, you're going to do something else and something else. And that's how I do it. And always with my core is trading, because I love trading. But do something else too. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong in having other ventures, other source of income. Listen, when someone like in the beginning, now people don't say that anymore here, especially here on TrueTrader. A lot of people say, well, if you make so much money trading, why do you do all this stuff? Why don't you just make your money trading since you do so well trading? Well, there's so many reasons, so many response to this. I'm going to give to you, okay? First of all, well, I'm going to say three, okay? First of all, you can do extremely well on trading, but you don't know how tomorrow going to be. You can have money saved from trading, but eventually money is going to go away. It's going to be spent somehow. You're going to get taxes. There'll be emergencies. There are people that from your family that I had 2 people in my family yesterday asking me to help to pay their kids' college. So, and thank God I can say yes because I can afford it. I'm doing it. My cousin got hired to work for a multinational in Germany, and she said in the first 2-3 months, because she spent a lot of money in college, she said, can you help me out the first 2-3 months as I move in and then I pay you back? Of course I'm going to help her out, and she doesn't need to pay me back. And I know she's an extreme hard worker. I mean, she got into a full scholarship. She's a very, very, hard working girl. So of course I'm going to help her. So going back to the point, you don't know what's tomorrow going to be. You can have a freaking accident. Don't think that the beauty, the health that you have today, you're going to have tomorrow. Not even talk about 1 to 3 years from now. Everything can change in a heartbeat, in 2 seconds. So you can make a lot of money trading. Maybe in 20, 30 minutes from now, a day from now, you have an accident and you're done. You can hit your head, you can have PTSD, your brain's not going to process things the way it used to be. You may have to take medication for the pain or whatever happened during the accident. And that will change the chemistry on your brain, and it's going to change the way that you respond to outside events. So many things. We are, I believe we have a soul, but you cannot deny that we are a bunch of chemical reactions taking place every second. And anything that happens to us is going to influence the outcome from these reactions. So don't expect that life is always going to be the same, because it's not. You know my story. I thought, and I was making the same mistake that most of you are doing. I thought I was going to be able to trade the way I was trading at that time forever, making $15,000, $30,000, $50,000 by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, then being done for the day. But then the algos came in and changed everything. So what you don't know is you don't even realize that you don't know, and never imagine it even could happen. These are the things that can come and completely change who you are in your life. And then you're sitting on the sidewalk crying, saying it's not fair. You know what? There's nothing fair about the universe. There's nothing fair about life. The universe, the world do not care what's fair, what's not fair to you or anyone else. You die today, the sun comes up tomorrow. People that loved you, that liked you, they're going to mourn you for 1 day, 1 week, 2 weeks, but eventually times move on. It goes on. It's part of life. We're wired to have to move on. Otherwise, we stay in the same place. So you're not that important. So why do you think anything in the universe should revolve around you? It doesn't. I'm talking about myself too, right? So first reason, things in life change in a heartbeat. You don't know how it's going to be. That's one. The reason, and going back to my point, why do anything else besides trading to generate income, right? That's one. Two, if you sit the whole day by your desk trying to trade, you know what's going to happen? You're going to spend 10, 15, 20 years of your life, and you're going to look back. You really have nothing to show for. You really have not to show for. One of my best friends, he trades, and he had the same problem, the issue that I had, right? I mean, we're making several $1 million a year, and then we got hit because of the accountant thing, because he was deferring our taxes, right? And then when everything stopped working, and so he's same age as I am, and now he's like, he works 1-2 hours a day, and then he's out. He's single, so he's on Bumble. He's going out 2-3 times a week, meeting different, people, women, and having the time of his life, which, great for him. He's happy, but sometimes he doesn't get, hear early in the morning, and I'm like, you're right. He was like, bro, yeah, and we had this conversation, and he's like, for 20 years, I was working 8-10 hours a day, and we made all that money, and I don't have anything to show for it. Now I'm having the best time of my life. I'm making good money, working few hours a day, and enjoying life. So in his case, he goes out and do something and meet girls, women, right? And that's what rock his boat. For me, I'm married. I'm very happily married. So, and I have my kids, which I love. I rather the extra time that I have spend with my family and create business. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy seeing something that doesn't exist and make it into something that and create something from nothing. That is, it's great. That gives me a lot of pride. And I know that my kids are seeing that. And they're going to grow up to know that they can be self-sufficient. They can do something. They can go through adversity with maybe not a lot of money. They can just go and create something. Most parents out there don't do jack. Most parents don't even talk to their kids when they decide to go to college, what they should do or shouldn't. I have several friends of my kids that their brothers or sisters went to college. I give you one example. Zach's is a friend of Luca. His sister went to college, and she went for, I don't know, art, right? Some whatever. But she went to college. She has, I think, $120,000 college debt after she left. She got out. And I was talking to Zach a few months ago. I was giving him a ride, and I was like, so how's your sister doing? And he was like, oh, she's doing great, because she went to college. I didn't know what she went for, right? So he's like, oh, she's doing great. She's working at CVS now. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So she went to college for pharmacy. So she's working at CVS as a pharmacist. He's like, oh, no, she's a cashier at CVS. And I'm like, what? You go to college to be a cashier? And then I asked what she went to college for. And he said, for arts, whatever. I mean, I was like, did you talk to your parents about it? Did they talk to you about what to do in college? She was like, no, she just liked it. And she went, and they never said anything. Come on, kids, guys, the kids don't know. You have to go and talk to them. Tell them, you want to do this. Okay, but you need to understand this was going to come afterwards. You're going to go to college. Another friend of mine, his son wants to go to college to be to work on zoo, or to be like to work on the zoo. I don't remember whatever it was that he wanted to do, right? Top salary was like $80,000. And his name is Samuel. So like, Samuel, I sat down with him one day. I was like, what do you want to do like in life when you see yourself at 30 years old? And he was like, well, I want to have a house like yours. And I want to have at least, this car. And I want to be able that my wife doesn't have to work. So I sat down, I got a piece of paper, and I wrote down, okay, to have a house like mine, you need to make this much a month. To be able to afford that your wife can be at home, you need to make, this much at home, assuming that you have 1 or 2 kids, and so on. And we came up to a number, right? And I said, if you go to college to do what you're planning to do, this is how much you're going to bring home a month. And he saw that it was less than, it was about 15%. That way he had to 85% off. That way he had to make. And then he realized, he was like, yeah, there's not ever in my life I'll be able to do the things I want to do if I follow this career, if I go to college for this. And it was simple. I was with him for 10 minutes, and he changed completely. He's in college now, and he's doing he's actually doing economy or administration, something that he wants to work with investing, right? Nothing because of me. It's just because he likes math, and that's something that he saw that he would do and do well, and he enjoyed doing as well, right? And he's very smart, so I think he'll do really well writing code as well, right? Eventually for himself. So but most parents don't sit to talk to their kids about this. They just, oh yeah, okay, I just figured it out, it's good. And then that continuation of just failure, which in a way is failure, because remember, Samuel wants to have certain things in life, and there's no way he would be able to have if he pursued the way, the education that he was planning to, right? And most kids don't realize that. So you need to talk to them. So that was the second reason. I mean, I enjoy doing things and creating things, right? Uh, and the third reason, which we never know how it's going to be tomorrow or not. There's a guy I remember about 15 years ago. He used to be all over CNBC, right? I mean, they're talking about market, and he was a big guest on it. And I forgot the guy's name. I will find it. But this guy was one of the biggest CME traders, okay? So he'll be invited as a guest to talk about the overall market because he was so good at trading. And then I started to see him on Fox News, and he became like an anchor for Fox News. And he was all the time, he was like interviewing people. He wasn't being interviewed anymore. He was doing the interviewing. He was, I mean, he was working at Fox. I was like, what the hell? So I started to read about him. I'll get his information a little bit and I share. So what happened is that he wrote like a little article that he was done with trading. He had done everything he wanted to do in his life. He was really happy, and he was very happy to move on to his career and his life into some newfound love for him, which was to work on TV as an anchor, a financial anchor. And I guarantee you, if you had asked him that 10 years prior, 5 years prior, he would have told you that, you're out of your mind. I love trading. I want to trade for the rest of my life. We don't know. Right now I say I love trading. I want to trade for the rest of my life, but I don't know, in 3-5 years, I will just find something that, at that point in my life, I just love as well. And I want to pursue that. And then what? I have the income coming from trading, and I'm living my life. And if that's the only thing I do, I won't be able to go through and live other dreams and do other things because I will still be a slave at trading, right? So always think about the things you don't know yet, the things that can happen in life, can come in life, and plan accordingly. So why I do all these different things besides trading? Because I love it, and because I don't know the day, how it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be the same person in a week that I am now. I'm going to have all the same results that I have now. You just don't know. See Real Dino, his daughter. One day she was beautiful. Well, she's always beautiful, but I mean, she was very, happy, got into the car to go somewhere, and boom, look what happened. Thank God she's fine and she's recovering. But you know how bad that could have turned. We know how, the result that could have been. And who knows what would have happened if, let's say, if she was married, if she was, the head of the family and she had kids depending on her. How would she be? Her family and her kids, anyone depending on her, would be moving forward with their lives. I mean, I've been there. I had that awful. I had several awful accidents, and I already said that. I don't know how I'm alive. I mean, I have so many scars from so many accidents. I had an awful car accident as well myself. So when I saw her picture today, I know how heartbreaking, how scary that is, because I've been there. I had a car hitting me, throwing me on the other side of the street, the other, where the other cars are coming, 2-lane road, and the cars that were incoming the other side, one run over me, bloop, bloop. So it's awful. I was young, thank God I completely recovered, but you don't know. So it's always great with that free time that you waste doing nothing, just sitting your butt. Look at that. Look at that. That's, you just don't know. You can run to Starbucks, you can run to a grocery store, and something changed for you. So and don't see as a challenge. Oh, and today I'm going to try to do something different. Don't see as a challenge. Just see as something that it's going to make your life more exciting. You just see something that is like, I'm going to do this even though I don't feel comfortable and it feels scary and I don't want to do, I feel like procrastinating. Once you do that step, then the next step, it becomes a walk, and then eventually becomes a jog, and then becomes a race. And one day you're going to be like me. You're going to be sitting at 10, 11 o'clock at night on your desk, looking around, walking around your office, and you're going to have like 3, 4, 5 ideas, 3, 4 things that you're running at the same time, that you're creating from nothing. And that doesn't feel, and it's a race in your mind, but it doesn't feel like work. It's just like it's a playground in your brain. You're happy because you are being productive. You're doing something that is making you a bigger person. It's making you turning into something that you can have financial freedom for the rest of your life. And don't be afraid of failing. You will fail. We all fail. You will 100% certainly fail. Remember I said I have 75 emails from Google. Out of 75, probably 9 businesses I opened, 10 businesses I opened. I'm talking about like in 2 years, right? 3 years, 9, 10 businesses I opened. Let's say out of 10 business, 5 were like duds. But what do I do? Oh my God, I failed. It doesn't work. And now it's like, no, I learned this, and I learned that. Cost me a little bit of time. Yes. Cost me some money. Yes. But I've learned this. And then you keep doing. Then one day you're going to have a business that it's hold on just a second. 1 second, please. Okay. So, okay, there you go. So you're going to have a business that you, first of all, you know how to organize the business. You know how to deal with, if you bring in partners, how to deal with partners. You know how to choose your partners. And so that will make your life so much easier. Then eventually, like for example, the tattoo, right? And I'm just saying, oh, is a tattoo is dumb? I mean, it doesn't matter. It's one business that I am going to open, right? And I literally just got the text from Anderson that he said that he just spoke with another girl. She's awesome. So we have 4 people now to work, and this girl, she's 7 months out. So that means that she has 7 months worth every single day, 6 days a week of people that want to do, to have, her tattooing them. And she charged $300 an hour. So I have 4 people, one charged $500 an hour. I have 4 people ready to come to a studio doing that. And I'm going to be making a quarter of everything they bring in after the cost to run the studio. And I don't have to be there. So I'm going to have that passive income. I'm going to have a little bit of work in the beginning, but then I'm going to have that passive income coming in, and I can be doing everything else. And what do you think I'll be doing? I'll be trading and opening other business. And then life keeps moving, keeps going on. Instead, if I don't do anything about this, a year, 2 years from now, I won't have this opportunity or this income coming in just because, I just don't want to do it. I make too much money trading. I don't need to do it. I guess that comes with time. You start to learn that things can happen that you don't expect. But, and that's why I keep pounding here and talking. And I know I'm a pain in the butt. I talk a lot, but I really want to get through your brains, through your head, guys, that, this is something that you have to do. I rather be considered, a broken disc, repetitive or, annoying, which you always can just leave and you don't have to be listening to this. But at least, if I get through your skulls at 10 of you, 1 of you is enough that 3-5 years from now, you get the situation that something happens. You're like, I'm so glad I listened to him. I'm so glad that I paid attention. I took heed of what he was talking about. Okay, that's all it matters to me. I don't care about looking good or looking bad. I really honestly don't care. Okay, I just want to make sure that life is good to all of you, because if you guys having a great life, that's what I consider legacy. It's not leaving money for this and that doesn't mean anything to me. And from the moment that you're learning and you taking something that you can improve your quality of life moving forward, I know that your kids are going to be seeing that and going to be learning from that as well. And their lives are going to be changed as well, or not changed, but they're going to take a different direction that would have taken otherwise. Right? So I just want to put that there. Right? I'm going to shut up. I was going to say 2 things. I was like, my head was like, okay, I'm just going to say 3 minutes. And it was, oh God, it's being 35 minutes ago. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Mike. Sorry, Goose. I know. But...
Adriano's words of wisdom, always spontaneous.
See, I don't even like to say that. It's not. I really don't. I don't know. Man. It's not. It's,
It's not
guys,
an
there's
ego
another
thing. I'm
thing.
not
There's
saying this
another
for
thing
ego.
in life. I know,
Okay.
B, and I'm not putting in the spot, but it's it's like whoever comes to the race this weekend, next weekend, right? When we meet, please don't look at at me, and that's one thing that bothers me because I don't like to be seen this way. Me or Goose or Benito or Dan, don't look as anyone in life as there's a god or someone extraordinary or whatever. We're not. We go to the restroom, we take dumps, if it's something that we shouldn't, we throw up, we snore when we sleep. I mean, we have our weaknesses, we all do. We just found things in life that we can tweak to make our lives better. That doesn't make, because from the moment that you see any of us as a god or some divinity or dignitaries or something better, you start to think that we're superior, we're better than you. And I guarantee you, we are not. We are not. We have our, all our weakness. I mean, I'm very shy in person. I am shy. Many people say, you're not shy. I'm not shy when it's one-on-one, but there's like 5, 10 people, I am shy. I tend to kind of, be quiet. But just the way I am. And I don't put a face out just to look good or pretend or act. I don't do it. What you see with me is what you get. So don't ever look me or anyone else in life, anybody ever, like there's something superior, because they're not. They're not. There's always someone that one is going to be higher up on the hierarchy than than that person, and always someone that is lower. But when it comes down to it, everybody we're all human beings. And I guarantee you one thing: if you look at that person next to you, it doesn't matter if that person is a CEO or that person is a janitor. If you look at that person the same way and you treat that person the same way, and you wish the best to that person, whatever that person wants, don't think, oh, he got there because he's lucky or not. You don't know the history behind that person. You don't know what the reason he's doing that. It's doors, your eyes will open so much for life, and everything is out there. And everything becomes so much simpler, and you'll be a much, much happier person. So when we meet next week, I want you to just come and talk to me like you're talking to like fucking anybody. Not, please don't think that I am any better because I'm not. I am really not. Okay. I'm just a guy that tries to do the best I can with the time I have in here. Okay. And I would honestly think that everybody else, should live their lives, but I can't make anybody, do anything. Some people just thrive in drama and misery, and that's how they like to do it, and it's great for them. But I don't want to be part of that ever. So I wish everybody the best always. And I got a message yesterday. Somebody said, "Well, what are you guys gonna sell on on during the race, right? Because I mean, we're not charging anything. We're paying for pretty much as I I I want anyone here to come and show us any other company out there that have a get together like we were doing, and they're paying for what we're paying, and they're covering the tabs like we're paying. We don't want anything. We just, honestly, the way I see anybody that's come to the race, I have so much happiness and pride, and see that you guys are leaving your house, driving to the airport, most of you, getting to a plane, flying, I don't know, sometimes 3-4 hours to come to Georgia, to come and do something with us as a group. That to me alone is worth to treat you all like kings when you get here. So if anything, I see you as like awesome people. And that's, how you're taking our time. So but some people are just going to be just that's the way they are, and
Cynical.
again
Yeah.
they thrive into and life is like that, I guess. Many people just that's how they live. But uh no, I'm very, very proud of what we're doing. David, I mean, you're so awesome. I mean, this guy's been doing so much work to make sure everything is right, that everybody's accommodated and everything is done right. Benito too. I mean, we're trying to do the best possible. That's something that we're going to have so many good memories and be very proud. I am very proud of what's coming next week, and to be able to see, lots of you here. And hopefully next year we can do this again, and hopefully be in the West Coast. And whoever couldn't make this time, or even anybody that was able to make this time, next time is our turn to go and and do the traveling and meet you on the other side. But
Mhm.
that's it. I said I was done. I was going to shut up, and then I kept talking. So I promise. Zip, I'm done now.
I do want to say one thing, guys. During the race accommodations, some of you were able to come, some of you are not able to come. If we can maybe put some good vibes out there for one of our members, Call Me Money. She had to suddenly not come, and it turns out that her father is in the ICU, sort of on life support and all that stuff. So if if you pray, you vibe, you share good thoughts, whatever your thing is, if you could put some good vibes out there for her dad, kind of turned really bad really quick, for Call Me Money's dad there. So hate to end on a kind of sad note, but I wanted to make sure we did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's put all the, as much as, and I said I was going to shut up. I'm just going to say one more thing. Okay. I want to bring up Nicholas because he passed and I didn't talk much about him, right? After he passed. Nicholas was a kid that I knew him for, for about 4 years. He found TrueTrader and he didn't even know that I was in TrueTrader. And one day he sent me an image. He was like, "Is that you?" I was like,
right.
"Hey man, yeah, it's me."
It's
And
funny.
he was like, "Oh, I can't believe I just signed up, blah blah blah." So he's the nephew of a good friend of mine. So one day he said he was in Brazil. He came here to the U.S. to visit his uncle, and he said, "Adriano, can we sit down and talk?" I was like, "Sure." So, but just to make the story short, I kind of took him under my wing. He was a very bright kid, uh, very restless. It's like he didn't want to go to college, but he was very, very hard worker. He didn't think college was how he was going to be able to get what he wanted in life, right? So I sat with him and I talked with him like I talked to the tags, I talked to many of you, and yeah, I just gave some guidance and what I look for and the mental state, and that went on for for a year or so, right? Since a year and a half now or so. So now that was November, so almost 2 years in November now, because when it started, it was, remember, Benito, it was October, right? 2 years ago. Uh,
October, we were like, what is this thing? What are we gonna,
yeah,
we didn't know what to call it.
yeah, exactly. So and so he stayed very active, like logging all his trades constantly, and he just had like $5,000, right, to his name. He didn't ask anybody for money. And by the way, when I met him, well, when we started going back and forth, he was 19, right? So then he's also started doing futures. He opened an account with TradeZero, and he started doing well. The days where things weren't working, he would come and talk to me. He was like, "I know I can do it," and he would, write down his state of mind. Just to fast forward, it's the guy. He started doing extraordinarily well. The 5,000 account, I had very sadly to help his father take money out last week, and it had over $120,000 in it from $5,000 that he made. And it broke my heart because there's so many people out there that are just lazy and don't want to put the effort or expect things to fall in their laps. And Nicholas was the opposite. he would send me a message. Reminds me a lot of Raul. He would send me a message 1 o'clock in the morning, his time, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. He was like, oh, I just realized what I did wrong. I just realized I missed this, and so on. So he was very, 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 very hard worker. And look at that. He was 21 to 22 years old, and he died of cancer. He died. He's gone. It's so that really it broke my heart in so many levels, because there was so much hope and such a great future waiting for him. And then look what happened. He left. He was robbed of 3/4 of his life. Gone. It wasn't an accident. It was cancer that took him. So are you sure you want to be sitting here? You do your homework and study and study and study, but you sure you think you know what's going to happen tomorrow? You don't. Now take the example of Nicholas. You can go back in history, you see some of his posts. And the funny thing is, like, when he started doing really well, he started posting his P&L, and then he sent me a few messages saying, Adriano, I feel like does it look like I'm showing off when I post this? And his words is like, I just feel so proud of myself by starting being so consistent, that I would like to people that to see that there's there's a possibility, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I was like, if you feel in your heart that you feel you should do it, you do it. If you feel like it's coming up in a certain way, don't do it. Just do whatever you feel the most natural to you. And then he was like, okay, I'm not going to do it, but if anybody asks, I talk to them. So okay, that's great. But if you do a history, I don't know, it shows here on this Mattermost, but his last few messages are there. And then he started to get worse and worse, and then he stopped and was in a hospital. But I mean, 21 years old, guys. I mean, are you sure you want to keep postponing things that you really know you should be doing now? You sure you want to postpone for next month, next year? Right? All right, that's it. All right, Nicholas, I'm gonna miss you, buddy. I miss you.